What's up, everybody? What's going on? This is Samir Azizi from Toronto DAO, and today we're going to have a little bit of an interactive conversation with our main dev, Kirill Spitsyn. What's up, Kirill?
Hey, my name is Kirill. I'm a developer for Toronto DAO. I joined Toronto DAO about a year ago, and I'm helping them with some projects.
Awesome, man. You've been a huge help, and today we're here to talk about something that we've done recently, and we've been talking about it during our events. We did a demo, but in short, we have developed a little cute app, and the app name is Bespoke Beaver. And you're the head developer for that app, and I wanted to kind of chat with you about your experience and maybe, how it all came together, and maybe we should fix something in that. Is that cool with you?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I'll start. Don't worry about this. By the way, I like your pink shirt. It's really on brand.
Yeah, thank you.
With the logo. So to kind of start from the beginning, we came up with this challenge called 3-Hour Dev Challenge, where basically we've scheduled a day where anyone who is wishing to join us, plus the Toronto DAO core team, developers and anyone who wishes to do it, we would get together in one room and we will try to figure out a concept for a new app and how to do it. And basically how I can come up with this idea is that, remember that thing where Versal app that went viral that said whether your Twitter account is evil, neutral, chaotic, fun, or something like that?
Yeah.
And what you do is basically add your Twitter account and it kind of analyzes your persona. So, and it went viral, and I really loved that thing. And I thought maybe we should do something like that just for exposure or something, but it's really just a kind of an easy thing to do, I thought. And so we all got together in this room. We had a couple other people with us as well, and Toronto DAO team members, and Kirill was the main dev. And I guess I'll just pass it over to you. What do you feel happened afterwards? During that time, what was your experience?
Yeah, so our brainstorming session took some time to figure out what we are going to do. And after we found the good idea, we just started to develop it right away. And it took about 2 to 3 hours, and the first prototype was almost ready, but it was already almost working, but there was still some problems that we needed to fix. And the brainstorming session was just to create the prototype, the bone back of the project, and after that I had to spend some time to deep dive into the project and to make some changes. And I think our brainstorming session was the core thing in this project, because we came up with the idea, we developed a prototype, and it just took some time to fix it. And it's I think it's almost all the time the same thing with those small projects.
If let's put a pin on that for a second. I kind of wanted to just talk a little bit more of that brainstorming session. First of all, it was really fun. I remember laughing my ass off on different ideas and how it all came to be. But I really love the fact that we came together at Super Team. They offered us the space for brainstorming, so I appreciate the Super Team support there. They're really supporting the Toronto devs. And but it was I love the fact that it was a really, really a brainstorming. So we have couple devs, couple non-devs, and we have two whiteboards. And so we had different ideas, and I was trying to kind of steer it in the way where it's we just need something simple, super simple. Let's not complicate it, one click and done. And that kind of I feel gave us a little bit of a liberation. It felt we don't have to think super deep about this. Let's just create something fun. But remember when we started, we kind of came up with the concept for Bespoke Beaver.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I like about it, we started thinking about, because it's an AI project in a way, and the costs that are associated with that. Do you remember how we were calculating all the costs and how much we would spend for different credits, and we would comparing? Remember how we compared different AI prices, the Chinese one and the American one? Can you elaborate on that? Because I'm just curious on your perspective.
So it took us some time to find the cheapest solution to implement our idea, but the problem was that not all the time the cheapest solution is the best, and in this case we had to go with something different, because it was creating like random results, and it was useful that we went over the like prices, figure everything out, but in the end we had to still stick with the ChatGPT because it was like the most reliable option.
Right, because it's like it's hallucinating and all of that.
Yeah.
But let's I guess talk about the app a little bit. The app is basically analyzes your Twitter account, your Twitter persona per se, and based on that, it gives you the 5 top spots in Toronto that it thinks you should visit based on your personality. So it's kind of like it shows you the map and all that, and we will go over that app as well. But it's like it has like different fun options like restaurants and parks and all of that. I know that you had some challenges kind of with that because it would give you some bullshit results sometimes. Like, can you talk a little bit about why it was like bullshit and how we kind of like wanted like to make it more precise?
Mm-hmm.
How did you do that?
So the problem with AI is that we cannot control what is coming from this in the end, and so we just had to adjust some of the results, make like the instructions much more clear and strict, and we just kind of forced the ChatGPT to provide the results in a certain format, and also we had to make like some changes in the backend of our app, and I just had to implement some default locations in case we have some problems, and in the end it was a like mix of AI and just some static things in the backend.
Hard-coded stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of cool though. I like that. You know what? I did mine recently just before this, and it showed that I like Aikido. And it's funny because at some point I probably tweeted about that I took Aikido back when I was a kid, but it was like way long ago. So it was like really crazy that it kind of remembered that I do this Aikido thing. So that just speaks about the Twitter scrapping thing and that what we do. So can you just talk about what's on the back end? Like how are we getting all that information and getting it all together? I remember like giving you access while I was drunk in Mexico.
Yeah.
When you were working on that, I was like, hold on, let me pay for all of that. Can you just give us the stack of like different AI tools that we're using for this?
So we're just using like a couple of tools. First of all, we are using like an Exa web scraper, which is basically like new AI scraper that is also used for the app.
Just to interrupt, feel free to adjust your mic so it's kind of like points towards you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So Exa, what does it do?
It just scrapes the internet and just grabs the information and put it like in the document. And in the end, we just use this information to send it back to the ChatGPT. And based on your like last 10 tweets.
Are you sure it's 10 tweets? That's fun because that whole Aikido thing really threw me off today.
Yeah, I think it's 10 or 20. It depends like on the settings because I was changing some things. But also when we get out like 20 tweets, we just send them to ChatGPT, and based on this information, we create like your unique user persona, which represents your unique traits and characteristics, and from this information, we just send it again to ChatGPT, and we get back like the list of the results that matches you, and we just show those like 5 places on the map.
I remember you also asked me to. So there's ChatGPT, which is like OpenAI credits that I was purchasing. I remember that, and then there was this Exa thing that scraps your Twitter account for like a couple tweets, I guess. And then you also like asked me to do the Google thing. Like, what was that about?
Yeah, so the Google thing is just for the using Google Maps. In order to use Google Maps, you have to use Google development tools, and it requires some like setup and API keys. So
I remember you were telling me like, I don't see it. I was like, I'm showing it to you. Like somehow like we barely figured it out, but it was like crazy.
So just, the Google thing is just to get the map.
Yeah. So it interactively kind of shows all the features on all the places on the map. But it's funny enough, like that thing was the only thing that was not requiring us to pay. Like we got some sort of a credit from that. What was that about?
Yeah, so Google has a like special program, and it provides like $600 credits for you if you're just starting some development. And
$600, that's not bad.
Yeah. And also I think they have some other programs for startups. So Google is kind of startup friendly, and they just provides some support. And also in our case, it was like the best solution because there's also some other maps, but they're like quite expensive. And Google was free, so we just stick to like with the best options. And also there's like some open source solutions, but they're not so great compared to Google. So we just stick to what is the best option.
I mean, it surprisingly didn't cost us much. Like, what did we pay? Like, we paid like, I think I paid $100 for OpenAI credits and then $50 for eggs, or vice versa, $100 for eggs or something like that.
Yeah, and we still have some credits. So basically, one request costs us about like 10 cents or something.
Mm-hmm.
So it just depends on the volume of the people who's using our app. If you get like a lot of traffic, it's going to be quite expensive. Mm-hmm. But at this stage, it's not that much popular yet. But so we still have some credits.
It's gonna be popular after this video. I'll tell you that. But like, so like, I'm asking you right now, like as a working experience, like, do you track that whole thing with credits? Like, are you able to see it like in real life, or you just like log into each app, like to each of the services separately, I guess?
So we have like 3 services, and for each service there is like a usage tracker, and I can track what is the usage for like X API and OpenAI API, so I can just see it information. But the problem is it's all like separated in 3 different apps, and you have to monitor everything separately, and it's not very good to work with, but you just have to adapt to it.
Do you feel like we can like combine like it all in one dashboard, like through API, create some?
Yeah,
or is it just like a stupid thing to do? I don't know.
Yeah, it's possible, but it's maybe too much work to do for this app.
So, okay, so let's talk about too much work to do, and then we're going to do the live demo. What was your experience like? So we did it in 3 hours, but it wasn't really like, the challenge was 3 hours. And we did a lot of work in 3 hours, especially you guys. But like, let's be honest here, it was actually much more time because we had to do a lot of adjustments and testing and all of that. And granted, it wasn't like we were constantly working, like you had your own thing going, you had to like find a free time for that. And I respect that, you go like to school and all of that. But like, what was your experience as far as like logistics of this whole app development? Because I mean, like right now it looks great, but like it took some time to do.
Yeah. So it was like a bit of a challenge in the first place because we had to figure out the API communication thing. And also there was like a lot of changes needed to be done in the process because when we released our app, we got a lot of feedback and some of the feedback wasn't positive. So I had to...
Some of the feedback wasn't positive.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had to make some changes and people were like happy. Oh, like you saw this problem and you fixed it. I like it. Thank you for this. So it just takes some time to figure out like the backend part, but the front end is not much complicated, but it also can cause some problems because we had some challenges with the like covers in our UI and also like some problems with the buttons and some small stuff.
Yeah. And I guess like I just wanted to underline that the goal of this app wasn't to make a complicated app, but to make a super, super bare bones, simple app that is just there and you can use it for fun, or if it's, you're traveling, we're going to show it later. But even that app still requires to kind of like a little bit of iteration and like adjustments and all of that. So that's just like a lesson that we've learned, I guess. So let's check it out. All right. So this is the app. It's called Bespoke and Beaver by Toronto DAO. The name came to us out of the blue. We really like the word bespoke and we want to have the kind of Canadian symbol in it, which is a beaver, and we just like it. So here, I'm just going to put my Twitter account and I'm going to place this Find My Toronto Spots. And Toronto is like the default location right now. We cannot choose any other location. And I actually wanted to ask you something because it's loading. This loading speed, can we increase it?
It just depends on the API interaction and it just done continuously. So when the access scrapes your tweeters, it just sent at the same moment to the ChatGPT and then sent to the ChatGPT again. So it takes some time.
But like why? Like why is it so slow though? I mean, it's good. It's fine
Yeah.
speed. Like we can maybe like include some animation or something like that. But I'm just curious, like, how can we speed these things up? Like, is it just for everyone like this, or like we're just being super cheap about it?
I think maybe we can make like our own custom AI that is going to be to do this thing faster. But the problem is with OpenAI, and in this case particularly with ChatGPT, is that it takes some time for the like chatbot to process the information and print the answer. So it just takes like 3 to 5 seconds to get one response from ChatGPT at least.
Yeah. Oh, well, I guess we're going to get faster as we go in this industry. But here's my Twitter account being analyzed, and I want to start with the persona analyzation. So it gives me the couple things. It gives me, basically my Twitter account, but it also gives me key traits and interests based on my Twitter account. So it tells me about analytical. My key traits are analytical, curious, direct, informative, and skeptical. That's actually sounds like me. And my interests are martial arts, technology, cryptocurrency, current events, and media analysis. That's pretty accurate. Like I gotta give it to Exa. Like this is done by Exa, right? Or is this done for ChatGPT?
It's done by ChatGPT. So
okay. So what Exa does is just gets the scraping and dumps it into ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And it's worth noting that we're actually not doing anything with X. Like we're not connecting to their API. We're not using their Grok or anything like that. We're simply scraping it, and we're not storing any data from the users. Yeah. All right. So it gives me and it's funny because on desktop it looks kind of like all over the place, but on the app it's actually like very smooth, kind of like one after another. But it gives me 5 spots, and there is a map as well here where I have this 5 spots in Toronto. So let's go over the spots really quick. It gives me like different sections, right? So attraction is Toronto Reference Library, perfect spot for AZZ to satisfy their curiosity, yada yada. Bloor Yorkville Boxing Gym. That's really on point. I love that. It gives me the boxing gym to visit. The rec room. The rec room is basically it's like an arcade where you like drink beer and play arcades. Like that's pretty fun. The pilot is I'm not sure what it is. That's something that I actually kind of want to visit now because I'm not familiar with the spot. It gives me like this cool restaurant known for vibrant atmosphere, rooftop patio, like literally like that's what I want. And of course the like a little bit of a park, Riverdale Park, to visit the park. But why is this fun and important? Because for me as a Torontonian, that's kind of like, okay, cool. Like some of the places I know, some of it I don't. But we have the Consensus Conference coming up right now and the Futurist Conference as well, and a bunch of other conferences in Toronto during summer. So for everyone who is out of town, who wants to get like a quick 5 places to visit, and luckily we're a very walkable city and we're a relatively safe city, you can just input your Twitter account and it will give you bespoke recommendations on the 5 spots to go if you want to go explore the city. And that's why it has this very simple but also kind of a curious and interesting aspect to it. Now, my question to you, Kirill, what else can we do with this app?
I think we can just extend it to other cities and maybe just integrate some advertisement potentially, because we can partner up with some companies in Toronto, and for example we can get money or something else from them if they're like on our app.
Yeah, it's funny because we have location here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and I feel like it's kind of already tells you like there should be a drop-down menu and you can add other cities as well. And we can at least start with that, kind of like implement that in other cities. But also like it gives you a lot of space for advertising. For example, we can have like an advertising spot here at the top of the places, but we can also gamify experience and get a little bit of a Web3 vibe to it as well, where everyone can like get rewards and if you like check in on the place or something like that. I have a final question for you, Kirill. A lot of devs came up to me, marketing people, they want to do the same 3-hour challenge the next time. And you actually approached me, as you said, like a couple of your connections also kind of are interested in something like that. What would you do differently this time around if we were to do another 3-hour challenge like this?
So in my opinion, we just had to split it in a couple of sessions because for example, we can make like some prototype in the first session, and then like take some time home and develop like the rest of the app and maybe fix some of the problems. And when, for example, we meet the second time, we can just fix all the small things remaining, and it should be faster to finish.
So 2 sessions in one day.
I think like 2 separate sessions.
And how long each session should take?
I think a couple of hours should be enough. But
should we do it like a 5-hour challenge then, 2.5? I
think it depends like on the scope of the app, what we're going to do next. So
I like that answer. It's a very, very open-ended, diplomatic answer to say like it depends. Hey, Kirill, I just wanted to say thank you so much for taking the lead on that. And I'm really, really impressed how much of a responsible person you are. Because for me, it was like our first project that we worked on together, and like it was like a really technical project. And I said, Kirill, I trust you. This is your thing. This is going to be, headed by you. And when I was in Mexico, like you were like hard at work, and I really, really appreciate the fact that you were like connecting all the apps and of course rebuilding it and getting all the adjustments. So thank you so much. I'm really impressed by that, and I'm looking forward to do more apps with you, sir.
Yeah, I hope we come up with something else. Yeah, and thank you for inviting me here today.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. All right. This was Samir Azizi, and this was a video interview specifically for Toronto DAO. Thank you.
Thank you.